Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat shalom, Rabbi. How are you?
I'm good. So good to see you. It is hot outside. Have you been outside today?
I did walk my dog this morning. I felt like was on it wasn't quite at the heat yet. I enjoyed a slight breeze.
It's pretty steamy out there. It feels like being in a sauna out there. So it's really nice to be. I hope you're all somewhere comfortable and cool and enjoying a little bit of air conditioning. It is going to be a scorcher. We're really glad that you're here with us today to do a little bit of praying and centering ourselves, to do a little bit of learning, and to just spend a bit of time in virtual community together that's so important for all of us. We will, as we do each Shabbat, be sharing some of the prayers of our service on our screen. And if you've got a copy of Mishkan Tefillah at home, we will be calling out page numbers as well occasionally so that you can follow with us either on the page or on your screen. The first prayer that we're going to offer together in song is Ma Tovu, which uses the words of the Torah, "How goodly are your tents, O Jacob." It's sort of a good reminder for me, especially as I came in from the heat this morning, how good it was to be at home. I hope that all of you feel that same feeling of relief and joy when you make it to your home and are surrounded by the people you love. Ma Tovu, page 74 of your books.
Ma tohu
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot.
We move from the words that acknowledge our thanks for our bodies to the words that acknowledge our thanks for our soul and our breath. And I invite you this morning to just kind of let these melodies and these words wash over you, fall into them, sing along, just breathe with us. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. 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 We now move into our Nisim B'chol Yom, our blessings for daily miracles. And as we make our way through these miracles, I want to ask you to share the things that you're grateful for this morning, the miracles that you're feeling this morning, whether they are big or small. And so we begin this chant together, and Rabbi, you'll echo me with amens after each one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Amen.
And we have a little bit here in the chat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, from Carol, study buddies in Torah this morning.
Amen.
What are you grateful for this morning, Rabbi?
You know, I felt like that blessing about removing sleep from the eyes was especially relevant this morning. I was grateful to wake up awake and alert to face a new day and to imagine all the possibilities that this Shabbat and this weekend have in store.
I was thinking about the freeing the captive and just feeling like sometimes a little trapped in our house and sometimes maybe just trying to reorient myself around that and to let myself feel freer in certain ways, even though we're in our homes.
Amen.
And we continue. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen.
I invite you, as the morning goes on, to continue thinking about the things you're grateful for, the miracles you're feeling this morning and through the day. And we continue with this study for this blessing for the study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen. We continue now with this reading, a listing of all of these moral and ethical commandments that we can uphold as a way of expressing our gratitude for the opportunity to learn with the actions that we do with our hearts and our hands. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people, but the study of Torah encompasses them all. Continuing now with the words of the 150th Psalm. If you're in your book at home, Psalm 150 can be found on page 100.
Kol hanshama tehallel, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallel, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Bekocho, hallelujah, birki ozo, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah,
Chatzi Kaddish is on page 106 of our prayer books.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ויאמרו
Amen.
I love having your echoes, Rabbi. We now rise for Baruch.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, Uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit, Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, Kulam b'chochma asita, Mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha, Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, Ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha selah. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir, V'nizkei chulanu mehera le'oro, Baruch Ata Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Let's see. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light-blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch Ata Adonai, Habocher Ba'amo Yisrael, Be'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated as we continue with Ve'ahavta, which can be found on page 116. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ela אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when to the last full measure of selfless devotion we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives and we can begin to change the world. And then you live in our hearts, and we, through righteousness, behold your presence.
ישראל ופדי חינומך יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
As we move into our Amidah now, we rise either physically or inwardly as we prepare for this pinnacle of our prayer together. We ask that our mouths be opened in prayer. Similarly, we ask that our hearts be opened to express their deepest yearning as we pray together.
Adonai, sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, בקרא זה זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, אלוה כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדונינו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקום. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue now with a reading that can be found on page 135 if you're following along in your prayer book at home. A prayer that expresses a sentiment that I think I've felt many, many times over the last few months. Where has this week gone? Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. On this day, we take a moment now to give ear to our own prayers and the longings of our heart. We take just a moment quietly to pray our heart's own prayers.
Shalom, Tova, Uvracha.
וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים. חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים, ורחמים, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, שים שלום, טובה וברכה. עלינו ועל כל ישראל, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, עמך שים שלום, טובה וברכה, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, טובה וברכה. We now move into our Torah service, and so we sing to bring in the Torah. Rollin, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachanu lehar kodesh. Rollin, Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachanu lehar kodesh. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rumemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rumemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachanu lehar kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachanu lehar kodesho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rumemu. I feel you, Rabbi. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu rumemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachanu lehar kodesho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachanu lehar kodesho. Now we are ready for Torah.
All right, now we're totally ready. I'm glad you could feel me from across the miles. It's not the same as being in the same room, but I was sending you good Romamu vibes.
I got it.
Good. So, friends, we're just about ready to listen to the words of Torah. And as we do, we're getting ready to enter into the audience participation part of this morning's service. So this morning we are reading from Parashat Pinchas. This is Shabbat Pinchas. So we're reading from the portion of the book of Numbers that talks about a collection of different stories from the Israelites wandering through the wilderness. And one of the themes that we're going to address together in our learning together is, what do we do? How do we respond? How do we feel? And what's our reaction when things turn out differently than what we had planned? What do we do when things turned out not to have been what we expected, and we have that perennial experience that none of us gets out of life escaping, the feeling that I didn't sign up for this? So in just a moment, we're going to hear the words of Torah, then we're going to do a little bit of learning from the Parsha, but I want to invite you to think about a time in your life when you've had that feeling that this wasn't what I expected, this wasn't what I signed up for, and frankly, this wasn't something that I wanted. See if you can think of a time in your life when you've had that experience. If you're comfortable sharing it with us in the chat box on our Facebook Live video, we'd love to hear what you're willing to share so that we can learn from each other's experiences. What was it that made you feel that way, and how did you respond? So while you're thinking and typing, we're going to move now to hear the words of Torah. This morning, Cantor will be sharing with us words from Numbers 27, starting at verse 12.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe alei el har ha'avarim hazeh וראה את הארץ אשר נתתי לבני ישראל, וראית אותה, ונאספת אל עמך גם אתה, כאשר נאסף אהרון אחיך, כאשר מריתם פי במדבר צין, במריבת העדה, להקדישני במים לעיניהם, הם ממריבת קדש מדבר צין. וידבר משה אל אדוני לאמור, יפקוד אדוני אלוהי הרוחות לכל בשר איש על העדה, אשר יצא לפניהם, ואשר יבוא לפניהם, ואשר יוציאם, ואשר יביאם, ולא תהיה עדת אדוני כצאן, אשר אין להם רועה.
Thank you, Cantor. Very beautiful. I hope those of you that are watching with us on Facebook have taken a moment to think about times in your life when things didn't go the way you planned and what you did to respond. So while you're thinking about that, a word or two about where we are in the context of this week's Torah portion, where we are in the context of our reading of the book of Numbers. So we're getting relatively close to the end of the book of Numbers, which means that we're making great progress in our people's wandering through the wilderness. The Israelites are making demonstrable headway. They're figuring it out as they make their way, putting more and more miles behind them from their slavery in Egypt and getting ever closer every day toward the arrival in the Promised Land. They've figured out by now how God expects them to worship, the kinds of sacrifices they're expected to offer in the tabernacle. They've determined the sorts of laws and principles with which they'll govern themselves, and they are feeling justifiably somewhat pleased and proud of themselves, and they may be beginning to think that this is going to work out for them after all. And just as they're beginning to get this sense of satisfaction and optimism for the future, God drops a bomb on Moses. And God shares with Moses the heartbreaking news that Moses is not going to be able to enter the Promised Land with his people as he had hoped. God tells Moses that God has decided that Moses will die there in the wilderness, and the Israelite people, whom he has led since the beginning of his relationship with them, will make their way into their new home without him. God tells Moses that this harsh sentence has come about as a result of the actions he took a couple of weeks ago, if you were with us learning during Shabbat Chukat, when Moses made the choice to strike the rock in the wilderness to produce water for the people against the commandment that God had given him to speak to the rock instead of striking it. So Moses, there in the wilderness, has to deal with the same sense of disappointment and disillusionment and confusion that so many of us have felt in our own lives. What do we do when things turn out different than what we expected? Obviously, all of us have had feelings like that in our lives. All of us have had a time when we felt this wasn't what I planned for, and we had to make a decision about how to respond to this new set of facts, the new reality, which is different from what we had imagined and anticipated. There are folks beginning to chime in the chat. I want to thank those of you that are doing so. So I see, Cantor, thanks for opening your heart and sharing with us that you're doing your best not to dwell on what might have been, focusing instead on being in the moment, which is not easy for you or for any of us. Leo, thanks for sharing that the sense of disillusionment that you had when the job you took didn't turn out to be the job that you imagined it might be. I see that the reaction you took was to resist for a while and maintain your boundaries, and slowly as things changed, you moved toward acceptance. That move from resistance, resentment toward acceptance is a very, very difficult but really important one. It was hard, and Leo says he spent some time really struggling with it and eventually getting there. It was hard, and Leo is grateful for having been through the struggle. Oh, Carol, that was you, sorry. Carol, thank you for sharing those thoughts from your heart. So this is an experience that so many of us have in our lives, in our work, in our families, in our relationships. And it's important to remember that the spiritual opportunity presented to us, the invitation to occupy a new level of moral existence, that invitation and that opportunity lies in how we respond. We don't get a spirituality merit badge just by having something unexpected happen in our lives to turn our lives upside down. That's just the way life is. Everyone has moments like that in this chaotic universe where none of us can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. The key moment arises for us when we are brought to the point where we have to make a decision about how to respond. So, going back to our Torah portion, Moses is facing that same sort of watershed moment in his life and our story. So we might turn to the text to see how Moses decides to respond as a way of thinking about one way that we might get some guidance when we face similar moments of disappointment and disillusionment. So we'll focus on the text of the Torah portion in a moment, but first I want to share a story. This story is an ancient rabbinic story. It comes from Midrash Rabbah, some rabbinic lore and legends about the stories from the Torah. So the rabbis of the Midrash tell this story. Once upon a time, they say, there was a king. And the king was out taking a walk, and he saw a beautiful but impoverished orphan girl in the street. He fell in love with her then and there, and he decided that he wanted to take her to be his wife. So his royal retinue approached the girl, told her that the king wanted to marry her, and she resisted. She said, I'm not worthy. He's rich. I'm poor. He's famous. I'm a nobody. His family is well known, and I'm an orphan. I am just not worthy to be married to the king. But the king keeps pressing and insisting and repeating his offer again and again. The rabbis say 7 times he returned to her to ask her for her hand in marriage, and she wouldn't agree. Finally, at the 7th request, the girl consented to marry him. And they were married in the palace, and they spent years together. But after some time, the story goes, the king got tired of her. And he began to be impatient with her and grow angry with her. And eventually, before long, the king decided that he wanted to divorce her. At that moment, the girl turned to him and said, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be married to you. I didn't ask to spend my life in the palace. I didn't ask to be a queen. You asked me. And now you have made the decision to divorce me and to take another wife. So all I can do, I have no choice in the matter except one, and that is to ask you to treat the next wife you will take with more respect than what you've shown me. That's the story that the rabbis tell about this Torah portion, because the analogy here is clear. Moses has been asked by God to lead the people. This wasn't something that Moses wanted. It wasn't a plan for his life that he'd imagined since he was a boy. This was the mission that God gave him, and Moses accepted. And now that things have turned out different than the way he wanted, now that God tells him that Moses is going to die and be buried in the wilderness far away from his people, Moses has every right to be vengeful, to feel resentful and angry, but that's not how Moses responds. When God informs him that his days are numbered and that the accomplishment toward which his entire adult life has been leading will not be his, Moses' first response is not to think for himself the way he's been ashamed and embarrassed, but instead his thought is for his people and his community. This is the last verse that the Cantor read for us this morning. O God, Moses says, place someone else over the community to lead them, so that your people shall not be like sheep that have no shepherd. And God responds, single out Joshua. Lay your hand on him before the whole community and commission him, and vest him with the authority I've given you, so that the whole Israelite community will follow him. What we learn here from Moses' spirit after this moment of disappointment and disillusionment, when God tells Moses that the one to lead the people into the promised land will be Joshua, that Moses responds with a surprising sense of generosity and compassion. Moses doesn't have to be kind or gracious or generous or compassionate to the person who would succeed him, but he is. He lays his hand on Joshua and invests him with his authority. The rabbis describe this as taking the contents of one bowl and pouring it into another vessel, selflessly and without a second thought. So the way that the Torah describes the transfer of authority from Moses to Joshua can help us do some thinking about what we do when it becomes clear that things aren't going to turn out the way we planned. Moses' concern for the people is expressed with tenderness and care. He thinks about those who would have been entrusted to him like a flock of sheep, whose vulnerability and fear have to be looked after by the one who leads them. And rather than throwing up his hands and walking away, breaking his staff in anger and abandoning the people, rather than taking God's decision as a personal slight, rather than responding to it with a sense of insult, embarrassment, or anger, Moses decides that what he's going to do is to use everything in his power to build up and inspire and guide someone else, to mentor his successor Joshua with kindness and confidence and moral support. All along, Moses only thought about himself as the Israelites' navigator, leading them from slavery in Egypt to liberation in the Promised Land. But in fact, and in retrospect, his most important job and his most enduring legacy was the way that he taught other people. Today, when we think about Moses, we don't call him Moses the navigator. We call him Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, our teacher. Because his legacy is the way that he took his learning and his law and used them to fill up someone else at a time when he might as well have abandoned the entire enterprise. And he never would have known that his legacy would be as a teacher. We never would know that his legacy was as a teacher had he not been able to respond to that moment of crisis, the moment of rupture, when he realized that things weren't going to turn out the way he planned, not with resentment or anger or by withdrawing into himself, but by making the decision to use the crisis to turn outward and help someone else, to help Joshua succeed, to help the people make their way safely into the Promised Land, to help them move on and learn to follow another leader so that the continuation and sustenance of the Jewish people would be future-proof, able to withstand any other changes in leadership in the future. This is what makes Moses Moses. He shows us that one of the most powerful ways we can respond to crisis and disappointment is to pivot. Once we're able to stop grieving, once we're able to work our way through the anger and resentment, to turn and look after others. This is a deep spiritual lesson that all of us, I think, can benefit from, and one that we can turn to when we find our own senses of disappointment and disillusionment. Once we're able to deal with the grief and the loss and the sadness, maybe we take that opportunity to turn and find someone else we can help, to use our sadness as an engine to propel someone else's redemption and care. Moses says to himself, when he learns that the plan is going to have to change, "Let those I leave behind not be like sheep without a shepherd." None of us know when things will change. All that we know is that they undoubtedly will change. And when it happens, when we find ourselves not knowing what to do, maybe we can try at that moment of crisis to open ourselves with kindness, with concern and compassion, open up all of the experience and wisdom and goodness that we keep inside, and use that moment of unexpected rupture and surprise to consider, how can I use this moment to help others? What can I teach? What can I leave to the world where everyone in it experiences rupture and loss and crisis? And how can I use the days that are mine to make someone else's burden lighter and someone else's lot a bit easier to carry? All of us will experience loss and rupture and disappointment, and all of us will need to process them inside our own hearts. But if we are wise, we will also use those opportunities as a chance for us to turn, to look at others whom we can help, to guide and to care and to give. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
So, friends, as we continue thinking about what we do at moments of crisis and loss and disappointment, we are going to take that same impulse, that same posture of opening and turning to prepare ourselves to offer a Mishaberach. This is a great example of the way that we use that skill, turning our own prayer outward to think about other folks in our family and in our community who could use our prayers. So if you want to take a moment now to think about the people that you care about, maybe it's someone that you are caring for personally, maybe it's the members of the city or the nameless folks that we know are suffering on this day as we make our way from brokenness to wholeness, from illness and pain toward healing and wholeness. Mishaberach is on page 253 of our prayer books.
Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mishaberach Avotenu, Mishaberach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Ooh. We now move out of our Torah service with these words that we know so well. Eitz Chaim Hi. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who support it find happiness. Eitz Chaim Hi lamachazikim ba v'tomachea meushar derachea darchei noam v'chol netivotea shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva. Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
We continue with our hearts turned outward to do the sacred work of memory as we prepare for Kaddish. And so at this time our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We take just a moment to do the work of our own memory and recollection.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
this time we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. On this Shabbat, our hearts go out in sadness and sympathy to the families of Jason Sanchez Marks and David Silverman, who were laid to their eternal rest in recent days. As we think of them, we think of all those we have lost and all those we have loved. As we rise, as we are able, and turn in our books or to this on page 294 or to the screen for the words of Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi, be'amad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbi mevarach le'olam lo me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha barichu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Before we make our way toward the concluding blessings and songs of our service, I want to share a couple of brief community announcements with you. I want to first begin with thanks to David Tanner, who's in the background helping us with the audiovisual needs of our service. I know you can't see him, but he's the one behind the scenes who's making sure that you can see us and hear us and read the words of the prayer. So, David, we're very grateful to you for your service. All right, tomorrow night, I'm going to need you to mark your calendar because I need you with me. Tomorrow night is the big rabbinic head-to-head match of Jewish geography Zoom racing. So we're going to be rekindling our friendly rivalry with Stephen Wise Temple in LA. I'm going head-to-head with Rabbi Sari Laufer, both of us trying to win this very intense match of Jewish geography Zoom racing. If you haven't seen it before, it is hilarious. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I am mustering all of my forces to help me with this race. Cantor, are you going to be there? I need you.
I will be there and do the best I can.
Okay, it's really important. It's going to be ridiculous.
I'm excited.
All right, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock our time. You can find it. We'll be linking to it on our Facebook page. And I hope that you will be there watching me and helping us take down Stephen Wise Temple. On next Sunday, July 19th at 7 p.m., there will be an online trivia night. This evening is going to be open to everyone. Fun and challenging trivia night that will feature a variety of experiences beyond your average game night. Ooh, seems pretty enticing. Please make a point of joining us. You will be able to find more information on our website, but we do need you to register in advance so we know that you'll be there with us. Lastly, another reminder that our clergy team and our full staff cohort are here for you now and always. If you need pastoral support or assistance from a member of our clergy or staff, please don't think twice about reaching out, letting us know how we can do our best to help you. We really do love hearing from you, and it feels really good when we're able to help out in any way that we can. So we're going to make our way towards closing with the words of Vishamru and the blessing over the wine and challah that sustain us.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורות הבאים עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות הבאים עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen
Amen. L'chaim.
I have a little challah here.
All right, let's see.
There's a little cinnamon
Yum.
sugar.
Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. B'tevon.
That's a nice challah.
Yeah, it's going to be good for French toast later. So, friends, as we get ready to conclude, I'm wishing all of God's blessings on you and on all of us. I hope that all of us will do our utmost to adjust and respond and react to the invariable disappointments and surprises that the world throws at us. I hope that all of us will look inward to find courage and compassion, that we can respond to uncertainty and loss by goodness and generosity and tenderness for each other, for our family and those we love, and for a world that is broken and always in deep need of healing. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.